Good morning, DJs. Welcome to the Jesse DJs show. I'm Queen of DJs, aka Jess, Jessica, Jessie, Queenie, Cow, Bitch Bag, anything you like. Just not bro and not sir, because if you do that, you have exploding Queen of DJs. Tonight we have with us on the show our friends from Safumaxx. We have Jer and Bro. Bro likes to sit in the background very quietly, but I think I can get him to speak at some point. He might have a joke for us, actually. I'm hoping he has got a joke for us, because he did ask him to prepare one, didn't I, Bro? Right, so with that, I'm going to hand over to Jer and Bro in traditional Jesse Degen style to start us off with a joke or something funny. We are NSFW, it's absolutely fine, so dirty is no problem whatsoever. Over to you guys, make us laugh.
Well, I told you I don't have a joke. I told you I have a dirty one. So here it goes. A white horse fell in the mud.
That was your joke.
No, it's because you have a dirty mind. It doesn't mean everything revolves around that now, does it?
Okay, you got me. I was waiting for him, right? This is an interesting setup. A white horse fell in the mud. Okay, that's it. It's dirty. Yeah, okay, fair. Dirty joke. Thank you, bro. You made me laugh. Now I'm going to hand over to you guys. Would you like to introduce yourselves for the community and just give us a little bit about your backgrounds and who you are in that?
Yeah, I'm Jerry, and I head up this project, Safumaxx, and we got together a couple months ago, me and the group. They've been together for a few years. I've known them for about a year or so. So the team behind it is myself, Bro, Old Man, Ape Strong, Mr. Magoo, Bobbin, and Depsize. Depsize does the graphics, and Mr. Magoo writes the contracts. The rest of us do everything else around it. And we kind of work together as a team and bring it to the communities. Really excited about what we're doing, trying to bring some excitement in from the outside to MaxxChain, who just launched, and having a lot of fun with it, community building, and that's where we go from there. Crypto,
so that's really interesting. So straight away, because I assumed that you've been with the team forever, but you've only actually been on board since quite recently, a couple of months ago, but you're the lead for the whole project. How did that happen?
I got an idea, and when we found out what MaxxChain was going on, you'll find more of their history tomorrow when you talk to them. But out of the old chain they came out of, when they saw the business plan, what they were trying to do, I just wanted to launch a project with it, and got together with these guys who I've known for a year or so. But we had some ideas, put them together, talking to them. We revised it a little, changed a little, switched it up, make it interesting, and here we are. It's been in development since that day. First thing we did is went to Mr. Magoo and said, this is what we want to do. Can it be done? And all the details, the intricate parts of it, he said it can be done. So that's when we started building community. And here we are.
That's amazing. That's really, really cool. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, what you've done before, and any of your team members, where they've been? And I know there is a bit of history here, isn't there?
There's a good bit of history here. I've been in the DeFi world for about 2 years now. Actually started out mining. I know a little bit on the hardware, so it's more interesting to me. And actually got into trading and projects through the profits of mining, because whatever got in, keep it in and see what you can do with it. Get rugged, lose money, like everybody else. So I met these guys, the rest of the team, in another project that started August of last year. And they were actually admins within the group. And they left it about 6 months ago, around there. I'm still in there, but just got to know them, and they're very well known in the lounges in the BSC space, and a bunch of honest, trustworthy people. What more can you ask for in this world?
No, and this is what I say, because there is because it gets depressing sometimes, doesn't it, being in DeFi and seeing the daily rugs and scams and exploit and just scummy nonsense and bullshit. But actually, there's so many creative people that are honest, that are really innovative, that have amazing ideas. You know, it's true that where we're at in DeFi and Web3, however you want to describe it, we're on the bleeding edge right now. We're building the infrastructure for finances of tomorrow, today. We're literally the guinea pigs, aren't we? But I mean, this is something that I personally have been really passionate about ever since I really got hooked on DeFi and got into DeFi. Is, you know, because I saw it, like, there's so much shit, but there's so many good people as well. And if the good people can come together and stick together, I'm convinced that we can get over this Wild West time and start to build something that's really good for everyone. I'm really interested in why you decided to go for a brand new chain that hasn't even launched yet. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, you know, they have the scam trackers in some of the lounges now, and I think it's 90 to 95% of all new BSC projects are scams. 90 to 95% of all Ethereum projects are scams. And then you get MaxxChain coming out of the Palm chain, which just totally blew everybody's mind. How if there's a way to do something wrong, that's the way to go. So KP and Nyan took together what was left of it and started building the MaxxChain, said they're going to take their project, they'll build the chain themselves. And for somebody to have that gumption to go out there, build it, get all the utilities together, put a business plan together, timeline to it, hold to that and hold true to it, honest and upfront with everything. If something changes, then they stand up in front of you and say, we had to change this. You might not like it, but this is what we got to do. And that just speaks volumes. And I want the chain to be a success. So we had an idea, and, you know, we could just go out there on BSC where we might get people, we might not. You know, everybody thinks it's a scam to begin with, regardless, just looking for their money in so they can pump it up and dump it out and then walk away to the next one. And, you know, everything about MaxxChain is different. It's the people's chain. And, you know, when they launched on CEX on the 11th. You've got a sideways chart from the beginning. It pumped up, it dumped down to where it started, and then it's just holding steady. You don't have these, everybody, you know, trying to get in, trying to draw a penny. Everybody's waiting for the projects to launch. Everybody's looking forward to the projects and what goes on with them. Everybody's in development. It's like, it's almost addictive, even more so than the chain. Once you get into MaxxChain, it just feels different.
And yeah, and I want to echo that as well, because I mean, you know, I've been lurking for a little while now. And I think it was actually you guys that came over to Jesse Degens and kind of started making a little bit of noise over it. And I was like, what is this? What is this MaxxChain thing? And since then, like, I've been quietly in the background. I haven't been active over there by any means. But I've been watching and seeing this thing building and building and building. And it's, by this point, I mean, it's seriously got me. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, because, like, self-confessed Queen of Degens and my crown that I earn, there's no two ways about that. But, I mean, you're right. The community and everything that it just feels different somehow. Everything that they've already got built over there, they've got you guys on board. I know they're offering, they're kind of incubating new projects that are coming across onto their chain. You're part of that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. The try to make some noise within the chain, get to know everybody that's there, everybody around, grow the community. And then, for us to be successful, the chain has to be successful. So if you haven't heard of MaxxChain, if we go into an AMA, we have to introduce MaxxChain, then we can introduce our project. But, it's crazy. It's a proof of work chain, level 1 EVM. And, they released the value of the Power coin, which is the native coin, at just over a penny, realistic, not this, we're going to be Ethereum tomorrow. And the gas fees are just outrageously crazy. It's 0.00023 Power. Remembering Power is worth a little over a penny for a transaction.
So you're talking cheaper than Matic when that first went live.
It makes Polygon look expensive. It's crazy.
Ooh, Polygon has got a bit more expensive since the early days. I remember when you were brand new, but it's still cheap. But that's mega cheap. I just want to come back a sec, Jerry, to what I was leading into. So you're actually being supported by MaxxChain, aren't you? I mean, with your liquidity, is that right?
The liquidity, yeah. There's support in there. We'll be backed by Power on the MaxxChain. So there's bits and pieces. Yeah.
And that's massive. That's massive. And coming back to what you were saying about, you could do this thing on BSC or insert EVM here, any chain that's already established. But this is special because you're going to be one of the first to be live on this new chain, and you're actually being supported and incubated by the chain itself. So that's special.
It's a very unique situation right now. It's a nice place to be.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, and I just want to go back to, maybe there's people in the community that are going to be watching on YouTube later that might not understand what we're talking about when we're talking about proof of work or proof of stake. Can you just speak to that a little bit, what the difference is? Because ERC20 now is proof of stake, isn't it? Whereas Bitcoin is proof of work, the original, the OG.
Right.
So, can you just explain what that means to people?
Yeah, we'll give the short version of it. Basically, proof of stake means your major holders stake their transactions in to back up the blockchain. And then it does a round robin around the people that stake. So it's almost centralized because your mega whales within the chain actually control the transactions, if you will. On a proof of work, the chain is built and transactions verified by miners, which means it can be Joe Blow turning his computer on in the coffee shop, or it could be a professional miner, with a full-fledged setup where their computers are running, backing it up. They're generating new coin by the mining process, but that's how the transactions are verified. So once that chain goes live, especially being proof of work level 1, the chain is itself. Nobody owns it. It's not one central place. It's not one group. It's anybody that's a part of it is actually a part of it and gains from the rewards on it, and you gain the coin. And it's just a very unique, rewarding at times situation. Bitcoin took a lot of heat, and Ethereum was taking a lot of heat because of the power that's used behind the, running the miners and generating it. But there's alternative power sources. There's a way to do it right, and it keeps it true DeFi. It's not centralized. It's launched, and once it's running as long as people are using it. That's the short version. I can't hear you, Jesse.
Yeah, no, I'm back. Sorry, my internet
Okay.
just killed me. It does, it does this. It's a nightmare. Okay, so we're talking about the difference between centralization or decentralization, and that's another really important point. So, a chain like MaxxChain is building, is in the process of launching right now, is truly decentralized because anybody can go on there, run their miner, and become. I don't know too much about mining, but effectively become a node, don't they, to support the network? And
Exactly.
BSC is not decentralized because BSC, all of the nodes for BSC is closed. It's closed circuit. You can only be a node for BSC if you're CZ or one of his close friends. So, like, it's funny. We talk a lot about DeFi, and then a lot of us are on BSC. It's not DeFi. It's not DeFi. But enough of that. I want to get into the meat and potatoes now. Can you tell us what Safumaxx is and what you're hoping to do with it?
I'll start with what we're hoping to do with it. We're hoping we make a little bit of money, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun. It's community first, and we're building from there. So Safumaxx is a positive rebase token. And for those of you who don't understand what a positive rebase, there's a couple different kinds of rebase. There's a positive and negative. Then there's a positive elastic. And a positive rebase basically adds coins on as the project goes in. With ours, it's not elastic where it goes up and down based off of volume. It's continuously added. It's based off of things. It's strictly by contract. So during our highest rebase periods, which most projects similar to ours run it for a year, we're at 363,000 APY, which means if you have one Safumaxx on day one, if we were to run it for a year, at the end of the year, you have 363,000, which is very high inflationary. So what happens is generally your tokens inside your wallet will double in about a month. And if there's no activity to drive the price, then the price per token in your wallet will be about half. So positive volume to drive it up, you're making money because the value of the coin's going up, but you really gauge these type of projects by market capital, not by token price, because by nature, the token price goes down. The market capital stays even. You're just right where you started. You haven't lost a penny. Mm-hmm. What we found with most of the positive rebase types of projects like we're doing is they'd run this high rebase for the first year and never make it to the second year, because by that time they've either fizzled out, stole all your money, don't have any idea what they're going to do behind that. The price goes down and they just lose the community.
First year, I'll be honest, I haven't known one single positive rebase project to get past the first. I'm being generous if I say 6 months, but like 3 months is usually the novelty's worn off and it's fizzled. So what you're presenting, what you're talking about, is something very, very different.
Yeah, there's 2 of them that I know that made it to the first year. The first one is still hanging on. They really don't have any volume, really don't have too much, but they're still there. The second one just hit their 1 year and they turned the rebase off. So they abandoned the theory behind it, and it is what it is. What we did is you can usually hold interest for 4 or 5 months and then people start dwindling off. So we said, okay, instead of going a full year, we're going to run 3 months. And where everybody else hits the second year that you never get to see, we're going to run that for 3 months after that. So you could get to experience the full process of what we're doing and how the rebase works and the high inflation to low inflation within 6 months. So it's almost like, we're speeding up the cycles. Then everybody gets comfortable with it, actually understands the premise behind it, and we do it again. So during our first year, we have 4 phases: high APY, lower APY, high APY, lower APY. Then after the first year, we start halving the APY, so it goes down. And with our burn, the token becomes deflationary. And it becomes more and more deflationary as time goes on. After the first year, every 6 months, we drop it. After the second year, it's at a very minuscule rebase level. Then at the third year, the rebase stops. And you're in your position. We've got our utility running behind it. And the whole idea behind the rebase is get your position in the coin, grow your or in the project, grow your tokens, get a nice space while the utility is being developed. Then when the utility comes, we stop focusing on the rebase and we're focusing on our utility. Now, within that, back to the rebase, at the end of our first period, when we enter the low rebase period, which is around 121,000 APY, since your tokens will only double over 3 months instead of 1 month, we're introducing a set of NFTs that you can stake and earn Safumaxx by staking your NFTs. So that will go back into the project and support it and help boost it at that second period. Then the utility we're developing behind it is AI-generated NFTs. So you type in a prompt, you have this picture in your head, you put it on paper, you've got all these websites that do it, they'll generate you a nice JPEG. Okay, we took it to another level. There's a couple places that do it. I haven't seen one do it quite right yet. You put the prompts in, it will generate an NFT. That's yours in your wallet. It's tradable. It's permanent because it's on the blockchain. And when we do these, we're not doing $1,000 NFTs, couple dollars. Something that's fun, something you can be creative with. If you don't like the outcome so much, okay, you wasted a couple bucks on it. If you do and you get something that's really cool, okay, it only costs a couple bucks. And the whole thing is we want to push for mass adoption as we go into it and everybody have fun with it. That's what it's all about. And then the money that generates will, again, go back into the project, support our holders, support the token, and that's where we're going with it.
Did I see somewhere that you were planning to have a staking mechanism for NFTs so they could actually generate rewards as well?
Yes, our NFT, that's the third, when we get into the third month, we're going to generate a set of NFTs that can be staked, and they will be staked from the fourth month going forward. We are able to earn like 5 Safumaxx a day by staking the NFTs. And then once we get into the AI NFTs, there's some different things we're looking at. We know the generation, but as far as utility behind those, so make them even more valuable for people, able to generate multiple images, multiples of the same image, and different things like that, and possibly staking into it once again. And the AI generation will not only pay back to the contract and in dividends to the holders, but it will also have like a sweepstakes value to the people that have minted before. It's just kind of a bunch of little movement in there to keep things interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I've been looking at it, and the more that I've been looking at it, the more my little monkey brain's been firing and going, this could be really good. So, I mean, it looks to me like what you're trying to do is to encourage people to buy and hold, and they'll be rewarded in the long term by holding through the rebasing mechanisms that you've got in place, and also the deflationary functions within the burn. Can you talk to us a little bit about the burn and how much you're burning with each transaction and how that all works?
Sure. So since it's a high inflationary, there has to be a high tax to support the project. So on buys, it's 15%. On sells, it's 18%. Of those taxes, 5% of both buys and sells goes into the treasury that we use to reward the community, develop what we need to develop, and also buybacks, giveaways, buybacks, burns, just different things so that we know we can hold the table when things start going a little south, because at some point it always does. The second 5% is burned right into the dead wallet. And that's on both buys and sells. So every time there's a transaction, 5% of that transaction is burned tokens. Those tokens will continue to rebase in the burn wallet So that will just over time get larger and larger and eventually be the largest holder in the project. So if you can hold, you might own 1% today, but as the tokens are burning, that 1%, generally you get more and more and more. On top of that, the other remaining 5% of the buys and 8% of the sells is paid back to our holders in dividends. And those dividends are actually paid in Power Coin, which is the native coin of the chain. So here you are in a project of Safumaxx where you're holding, maybe buy here, sell there a little bit, whatever you want to do. It's your money. We're not keeping anybody from it. And the longer you hold, the more you get, and you're getting the native coin of the chain, which means, think of Ethereum if you'd done this back in the mid-teens and somebody was just giving it to you and you held it. Where would you be today? You can reinvest it into Safumaxx. You can buy any other project on the chain. You can hold it, for future, or you can take it to CEX and spend it, and you have a little pocket change. And the more volume we have, the more percentage of the project you hold, the more the rewards, because the rewards are 1-to-1 based on percentage held. The contracts, the DEX, the burn wallet, they do not get the dividend. The dividend is just for holders. So
they're blacklisted. So the burn wallet is blacklisted from the dividends.
Exactly. So if you look at it,
that makes sense. Otherwise, it'd just be a waste, wouldn't it? Because it'd be going into the red wallet. Or
we'd be burning coins that are burning tokens that are supposed to be going to somebody. It just doesn't make sense. So if you run our project through a token sniffer, you're going to see a white list. You're going to see a black list. You're going to see that taxes can be changed because we need to be able to make changes as we go. You're going to see the contract is not renounced because it'd be absolutely nuts to renounce the contract when you actually want to support it and do things with it. Yeah. So when you buy into it, you're buying into the team. It's a trust of the team, which is anywhere you go. You won't find that we have all these little loopholes and back ends where things are just disappearing in the background. Well, that's not what we're about. We're about community and growth within the community. So
amazing. Whilst we're on that, Jerry, this is a question that I like to ask all projects, and it's not a trick question at all. I believe that people that are building should get compensated. I've been there myself. We need to eat. We need to keep the electric on. We're doing it. Like it's not a charity. So how will you guys? You're quite a reasonable sized team. How will you guys get compensated for the work that you've put into this and are going to continue to put into this?
Yeah, I've seen some of these projects that say we're community projects, so the team, they buy in and that's their reward, which is great. But, how do you ask somebody to invest their time into it on a dice roll where they're the same as everybody else? So we've actually set aside 14,000 tokens for team tokens. It's not a lot, but with the positive rebase, it grows. And we've locked them for a year. So if you think we're in this to get out of it, we're not. So the Safumaxx tokens will generate the rebase. The team won't have them for a year. After that year, they're theirs. However, the dividends that they pay will be theirs from day one, and they'll continue to gain those. So they're getting paid by volume, by a successful project, and then at the end of the first year, hopefully they'll have a nice little payday, and that's our benefit. On top of that, you can be an investor and gain from the investments and take part of it, which we highly encourage because we need people to hold the floor. But I think team tokens are a necessity for a team that's going to be there for the project.
Amazing. So, and I really like the prospect of that, because that to me says, well, look, here's a team that believes in what they're doing so much that they're willing to forego their wages for a whole year, which means that you really have to work your asses off so that when you get paid, you've got something there. This is really, really nice. I know you've got a private sale going on at the moment as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we're getting ready to close out the private this weekend. It'll be closed down. That was essentially, we drew the private to give us the marketing to run this, so we didn't have to come out of pocket for everything. And that's basically where it is. The private has a little bit better buying situation than the pre-sale and at launch. It's 0.3 USDT per token, and we have a limit of 1,500 USDT per wallet. And our private is actually in USDT because we started it before the chain launched. Our pre-sale will be in PowerCoin, and our launch will be in PowerCoin, as that's what we're paired to in the future.
Okay, and that's really nice, and that's also nice as well, because that gives you guys that believe in what you're doing the opportunity to get into your project right at the base level before it hopefully takes off and moons and Lambos and all that good stuff. It's really, really nice. And I think I probably shouldn't say this on camera, but I have no filters. I'd like a little bit of that private sale, and I was offered a little bit, and I've been really busy, and I'm a fucking butterfly. So there it is. It's on camera now. I'm bullish on this. I'm bullish on MaxxChain. We're not financial advice at all. DGen finance, maybe, but I'm really, really lit up about all this stuff that's going on. I truly believe that this is, you described it as the people's chain. And I've had it in my mind, like, this could be the next DGen thing. I just think in terms of DGen, of course I do. I'm a monkey pea brain, but that's nice. So, and with your taxes, so you've got 15 on the way in and 18 on the way out. And of course, with your upcoming pre-sale, because I know your private sale is only for special DGens like yourself and your friends. But your pre-sale will be open to everyone. Now, am I right in thinking that with the pre-sale, people that get into that, they won't be being taxed 15% on the way in, will they?
You got it. I mean, our pre-sale, the prices, we still haven't done the power conversion because we wanted to make sure that the chain was stable, which it's been absolutely stable. So we're real happy with that. But we set our pre-sale at 0.35 USDT, and it's tax-free. We launch at 0.4 USDT, but the taxes are in effect there. So your real opportunity and the thing about getting in early is you don't pay taxes. That's a 15% discount right there.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. And we all know that, when we say launch price is 0.4 or whatever it works out at, like, it's highly unlikely, unless you're a bot, that you're actually going to be able to buy it for that price when it goes live. And then, of course, you're getting the 15% as well, because I imagine that there's going to be a lot of speculation around this as well, like there is around any new coins, particularly something that's like this that clearly has such a solid team behind it. That's really, really cool. I want to go in a little bit about liquidity. So out of your pre-sale and your private sale, can you, and it's okay if you don't want to answer this, that's fine, but I'm just wondering how much you've managed to raise so far in your private sale.
Our private sale originally was 90,000 tokens, which would come to around $27,000. We're just a little over half of that. And whatever doesn't sell before we close it out this weekend will actually be burned. So it's going to, we launch with 400,000 tokens. That will reduce that token amount by whatever hasn't sold in the private. When we get to the pre-sale, we're doing the exact same thing. We have 150,000 tokens reserved for pre-sale. Anything that doesn't sell will be burned. So when we launch, we'll have less tokens. The people that bought in will actually have a higher percentage to start with. So even more reason to get in. But liquidity-wise, our private sale is basically going to support where we are, support the growth, and start the treasury. The pre-sale, 75% of what we draw is going straight into liquidity, and that's what we're basing it off of for the beginning.
Okay. And how much power will, and again, if this is a question that you can't answer, it's fine to say, I can't answer that, Jess, because like I said earlier, I have no filters. And I'm just thinking out loud here. How much MaxxChain actually supporting you with their contribution of power? Or don't you know that yet?
They gave us an opportunity to get a pretty good deal on a large part of our liquidity to begin with. I don't really want to get out there with, what those numbers are and what it is, but we've had some support on that end. It's not free, but it's supported.
Yeah. And again, going back to where we started off with, well, we could have launched this on BSC, but pump and dump and like the general attitude and culture, it's probably know what's going to happen quite quickly. And, but this is the big difference. You're taking a chance by launching on a new chain, but they're taking a chance as well because they're looking at you and saying, no, you're legit. You got the thumbs up. That takes, because there's a lot of big brains over there. I've seen the way that they're talking. It's, like you said earlier, it's no mean feat building a chain, deploying a token on a chain that's already built. Like, even I can do it. And I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder, but I know I could, if I wanted to, I could. It's not too difficult. So that's a big thing. That's a big thing. The support that you're getting there, and that's really, really cool. I noticed in your white paper there was one statement that really stuck out to me, and we've kind of spoken to this already a little bit, and that's I've made a note of it here. Scams. We hate scams. I hate scams too. Do you want to just talk to that for a little bit, by what you're talking about? I mean, obviously we know what you're talking about. We hate the scamming.
We've all been there with the false promises, the huge money draws with nothing behind it, the rug pulls, the silent rug pulls where they're slowly draining it from behind the contract. It's just, and then you have these tokens. I was in a token before, and the devs disappeared after 3 months. Okay, they said they're developing an insurance utility. And their insurance utility is they were draining the LP, but the LP was locked, the contract was renounced. So the LP that was locked was the original LP. Any additional went to a hot wallet and right out of the project. And, they were gone, disappeared for a month, and everybody started looking at it and found out, well, they're draining the liquidity. They're spending all the marketing funds. It's gone to a hot wallet, and just they're not around. Then all of a sudden, a couple months later, they pop back in and say, "Oh, here we are. We told you we were doing it. We were just trying to develop our utility, and it's coming. It's coming. And they did a great job of updating their DApp, updating their website. Nothing going on. And finally, half the community broke away, started a new token, and the ones they held on to and the liars that were part of it and brought people in, they finally convinced everybody, okay, well, since the contract's renounced and the LP's locked, well, we need to write a new contract, and this is going to blow your mind. So you have to send us all your old tokens in, and we'll airdrop you the new ones. And as soon as all the tokens are sent in, they rug the project, sell the LP, dump everything. Socials are gone. TG's closed down. Classic. And it's just like, you can't believe a word anybody says. Proof is in the pudding. And that's why our first thing is to build the community. There's another token that I'm in now. It's a real world situation where they're paying dividends through crypto, which is a really cool idea. And their dev was KYC'd. They hired an outside person through a service who KYC'd them, wrote the contract. Okay, there's a problem with the staking contract. We got to fix it. Okay, they fixed it. He built a loophole into the contract, and the contract had been, whatchamacallit? Sorry, lost my words. They had the contract audited, but he had a backdoor built into it, and he rugged the
Backdoor.
project. Yes.
An extra zero in the code. Don't tell me. Oh my God, there was an extra zero. We didn't know.
Yep. So he disappears, and the KYC means absolutely nothing behind it. And, our group, like I said, I've known these guys for a year. They've known each other for longer than that. I know I can trust them, and that is everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And that's a great segue into what I wanted to talk about next. And that's how you're going to keep people safe. So, I mean, you mentioned it there, KYC. I know I can see on your roadmap, you have actually had your KYC with Cognitos. And I like Cognitos. I think they're good and everything. I've had a couple of KYCs, not Cognitos, other reputable firms. But my experience of that was like, oh my God, was that it? I could, like, people don't
weren't too bad. I mean, they did it pretty thorough. They got ID, they got voice, they got video. So it was okay, but it still only goes so far. And the reality is, I probably could have fudged something if I wanted to, but it's not like that. You either trust somebody or you don't. You gotta be on the up and up as much as you can and try to find the people that are.
And time is the best test, and that's about risk reward, isn't it? And that's why we do things like this, and we have communities where people can come along and talk, so people can get feel for the people behind the projects and make up their own choices on that. So the other aspect of security, have you had your contract audited?
We have not had our contract audited. It is ready to go. We're actually working on the dApps and swap on our website right now. We don't intend to have an outside person audit it, only because I know the guy that's doing it. It either works or it doesn't. And the audit may add value to somebody just thinking it's doing, but it really, truly adds no value to it. The contract works or it doesn't. And if you have any doubts,
and that's a good point. I've lost count of the amount of times that I've seen projects audited by Certec. I'll just put it out there. And then 2 weeks later, they run.
Exactly.
I mean, it's nice, but you're right. It's not the be all and end all. But your contracts will be published on chain, and I guess what scanner are they MaxxChain going to use? Do they have a Max scanner?
They use Quickie. They use Quickie. Quickie was developed several months ago. They're on many of the chains right now. It's a nice little token sniffer, and it highlights all the different things. And pretty much every project that uses MaxSwap is included in the Quickie sniffer. So that's kind of a really cool thing. Could you imagine BSC?
That's going to be the equivalent of Etherscan or BSC scan, or are you talking about a token sniffer to check out the token?
Yeah, it's a token sniffer. So it's
okay. So that's good. That's good. Probably need to. Is there a Telegram version of that we can put in our chats to sniff tokens? It's not got that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know when Quickie first came out, it was a free service and you could actually put it there. It's integrated into the MaxSwap from what I understand now, and it's a pay-per-use outside of that. It's a subscription service. But there's other ones out there too. I've used them, but I know the Quickie, it's a nice little thing. I'll see if I can find the link and put it here just so people can look at it and see what it is.
That'd be awesome. And I mean, we're going into MaxxChain territory a bit now, but it's all connected, so it's all good. And it's interesting to know as well. So what is going to be the Etherscan equivalent on MaxxChain? Is it going to be literally like MaxScan, so we can?
Yeah, There's already a scan built into it right now. The RPC is released. The chain is actually live. It's just the projects haven't really started launching yet. There might be one or two coming, and we're coming next week. But the scan is already there. It's very similar to Etherscan. So it's really user-friendly, and you can see what's going on through the contracts. It's pretty cool stuff. You can find all of that in their knowledge base with MaxxChain. And if you really want to dig deep into their white paper, it's 36 pages long of lots of information and stuff that's going on there. But you want to visit their Telegram, visit their webpage, and their webpage basically breaks down all the utilities and has the different links and the things that are ready to go and coming, both. So if you can think of it in a utility, if you can think of a utility that a chain should have, MaxxChain probably already has it or is getting ready to release it.
Which is a complete 360 from, for example, I don't know, I'm going to say it, you know, from what we saw earlier in the year with Pulse Chain, for example, where, it's live. Oh, shit, it's costing 100 ETH to bridge 1 ETH across or whatever it was. So, I've done a little bit of research, and again, we're going into MaxxChain territory. So on Saturday will be the launch of MaxxChain itself. That's when the gates will be open and the bridge will be opened, I guess.
The chain itself is already open. They launched last Friday on CEX. So you can go on to coinstore.com and buy power now. And you can send it on chain. The deployers and everything are being activated. So as people come on, what they were really had asked most of the projects to wait for a DEX tool, DEX tools. And in the meantime, they've built their own. So there's a DEX scanner on MaxxChain now. Gives you some information on the tokens, just some neat stuff. So everything's there. Everything's in place. We launch next week, but they're already up and running.
Okay, so when are you going to... So what? Are there already tokens live over there?
I'm not sure if there's any that are live yet. I know there's one
liquidity.
Yeah, there's liquidity pools that have been entered and they're building. But I don't think that any of the projects have physically started yet, but they're getting ready to. So
where did I get this data Saturday? Is that when Blockbends are going to open up their bridge?
That might be. I know Blockbend's coming. I don't know the date. I know they just announced GemPad is coming. So there's an additional launch pad besides the one on the chain and the other ones. I think there's like 4 DEXs that are launching within it and different farming programs and things. So there's a lot going on, you know, and a lot of activity, and then some really cool stuff coming, metaverse tokens in about a month. Just some really neat projects.
I think there's already some shit coins over there, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Looking down there. Let's not get down that rabbit hole right now. Okay, yeah, so
they have their place.
Of course they do. Of course they do. I mean, I have no problem whatsoever with a legit meme coin, shit coin. You know, they're useful and they kind of feed into that vision of what the cypherpunks described in their original white paper of giving everybody in the world, no matter whether they got a couple of bucks or like a couple of million, billion, whatever it is, to be able to participate in financial transactions and like have the opportunity to make money. So it's just another thought. I mean, all investment is it's kind of a form of gambling, really, isn't it? And like, yes, there's a bit more to it because it's technical. You have to weigh up risk versus reward and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, but meme tokens have their place because they keep people entertained. They give people something to transact in. As long as they're honest, as long as they do what they say they're going to do, and don't, like we were talking about earlier, quietly drain liquidity in the background, and all the other million things that they do. So, right at this point, we've been going for not quite an hour, but I would like to get some questions from the community. So they're all waiting for a password right now. Can you give them their password so that they can put it in their Google Forms and get it uploaded? Then I'll start asking some of their questions. And then what I'll do afterwards is send the questions that I've asked over to you so that you can pick the best one that will win $50. That's not a bad prize. It's like a pretty nice prize, actually. So they've got to be good questions. So, yeah, Jerry, give us a password.
The password we're going to use, we're going to link it to MaxxChain. We're going to use power.
Power! I love it. Okay, guys, you got 10 minutes from now. So it's 10 past 8 UTC. Both my brain cells running to figure out those time zones. So you've got until 20 past to get your passwords in the forms and your questions and get them uploaded. And the quicker you get them uploaded, the more likely I am to notice them. And if they're good, ask your question. And you have a chance of winning that $50 prize. Right. Now let's get back to our little chat, our interview, if you like. I noticed, I want to go back to liquidity because this is all new. It's a new chain. So is MaxxSwap going to be the first place that's going to be holding liquidity? Is that where you're going to be depositing your liquidity to start with?
It is. The MaxxSwap is on-chain, and that's the on-chain utility. I know Novation is developing it, so they can do it too, but I don't know if they're ready yet or not. We actually approached them, and they couldn't give us any solid answers. And then outside of that, GemPad is coming in, so they're a launch pad. I don't know if they'll hold the liquidity, but the MaxxSwap is that's your main spot on chain.
GemPads are legit. I actually like GemPad. Don't get me started on pink. I did quite like. If you're gonna go for one, and that's massive. You've got people like that coming over, and this thing. I mean, because I've been lurking and kind of have friends that are building and all that kind of stuff. I'm seeing so much. It's like it's literally like I don't know. I'm going to use the word virus, but that probably conjures up bad images. It's I don't know. It's organic. It seems like there's a lot of people that have been around for a long time. It seems to be a lot of OGs that are working behind the scenes, building for MaxxChain, which is really, really exciting. If that liquidity comes rushing over and it does blow up, then for tokens like yours, projects like yours, and you have first mover advantage, don't you? Quite literally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, imagine the point behind the chain. When they launched on CEX, they burnt 600 million coins, power coins, to begin with, just to bring the supply down, to keep it under control. And when the projects start launching and the power starts flowing, it's just going to go crazy. And it's funny you talk about, virus might be bad, but at the same time, virus is bad, but viral is good, and it's the same thing.
That's the word I was looking for. Viral is blowing up.
So, yeah, some really exciting days ahead. We have our pre-sale on Monday, and we're really excited, and we're planning on launching on Thursday, turn the Rebase on Friday, and we really want a solid launch. So anybody that is interested, come see us. Even if you're not ready to buy or on the fence, or even if you don't want to, join our Telegram, get to know our community. It's a welcome place for all.
It is, and I want to speak to that actually, because I've been hanging out with you guys a little bit here and there. You have the voice chat open more than any. I mean, like, it's normal, when projects launch, the VC's open 24/7, and some people might be in it. Most of the time, everybody's quiet, not saying anything. It's a really boring place to be. But your VC is open like almost every night, as far as I can tell. And whenever I pop in there, like, it's really nice. It's like popping into somebody's front room. You're all there, like, chatting about whatever. And yeah, I mean, big up for that. It's a nice community. And also, I want to say this because, like, I've been around the blockchain for a little while, and like been there since in all sorts. But what I do know is that a project that has community, that has real community behind it, has a real chance to survive through the early days, which are the most difficult, and make it into the long term, which is what you're looking at doing. So, I mean, from that perspective, I think you've got it absolutely right. Start, you know, it's what I always say, if you're building a project, start with the community. The community is the project. It's just that simple. So, yeah, guys, I think anybody that's in here at the moment in the VC and looking to win a bit of the shiny, you're probably already over there in Safumaxx. Don't make that your only time. Go and hang out with the guys. Go and have a look around and see what they're talking. It's a cool place to be. It's a nice community. I think that's why we've ended up friends, because we have a similar kind of community here in Jesse DJs. Small, but legitimate, real people that are interested in this technology, this tiny little industry at the moment that's about to blow up, what we call crypto. It's really, really cool. Right. So, hold on. I think I've gone through all of my bullet points. Is there anything that we haven't touched on yet that you want to talk about, Jerry?
Only if you go to our website, you'll see the links there now that are being worked on in the background. But we're going to have an on-site swap, so you'll be able to swap into Safumaxx right from our website, and also our DApp, which will give you the opportunity to forecast your holdings, see what's going on with your holdings, what's going on with the project. Down lower on our front page of our website, you'll see a transparency link, which is not active yet because we just haven't populated, but soon will be. And as the project develops and is in development, you will see all treasury spending there. We've been talked to before, and people question, well, the marketing wallet, treasury wallet, that's really that's really a team wallet. No, it's not a team wallet. The teams have their wallets. That is a wallet to support the chain, to support our project and make sure we go where we need to be and we have what we need to do within it. We will engage the community. We like running contests right now. We just ran a raffle and gave away an iPollo miner. Actually, we're giving away, we sold 40 raffle tickets, and now it's being determined by a 3-day duck race. And stay tuned to our Telegram later tonight, because you'll see what other contests we're having on top of the duck race related to the duck race. I'm not going to say too much now, other than the winner will get a little power. And it's all about engagement. Because like you said, community is everything. You can have the greatest idea, greatest thing out there. It's going to dump if you don't have a community behind it. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow organic. Bring your friends, friends. Come in, get to know us. Our Telegram is not for just the project. Keep everything else out. Come in, hang out, shoot the shit. Tell me about your day. I don't care. It's a safe place to be. It's a place to hang out. And that's all.
And I want to say, because we were talking earlier before we started the show, weren't we, about your duck race. And I did have a look myself. And it's amazing. Like a 3-day duck race. It's just like 40 ducks all bobbing along. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's just me. I just think it's the most degen thing in the world. One of my good friends is like, no, duck races should be like 5 seconds. That's degen. Like start and boom and like finish, and like no. This is really degen. A 3-day duck race. It's so cool. And on a more serious note, the prize that you're giving away is actually a miner. You've told us your background is in mining. Can you tell us a little bit about the miner that you're giving away?
It is an iPollo ASIC miner. It runs at 280 megahash per second. It's actually being shipped direct from the manufacturer in China to whoever wins it. We're going to cover the cost of the miner and the cost of the shipping. They may have duties on that end. It shouldn't be too much because it's not real expensive. It's a plug and play model, so you basically have to set it up on your PC, but it's hooked up by Wi-Fi. You just plug it in, and you're mining power. It's really a neat thing. So you're supporting the chain. You got a free miner, and you get who knows where it goes, but you get something out of it.
So you literally just hook it up, set it to a wallet, and then hope you get lucky, which I'm guessing with a new chain, and this is something that I have no knowledge in whatsoever, but I'm guessing with a new chain like MaxxChain, you've got a much higher probability of getting lucky and finding some of those block rewards, right?
Yeah, the older the chain gets, the higher the value of the coin. You're going to get more and more miners in. There's a good community behind the mining there right now, but it's growing. And as it grows, the rewards for one person are going to be less and less. But, the earlier you're in, the more rewards you get, the better it is. And have fun with it, especially if, it only costs you next to nothing to be able to do it. And these things are very power efficient. One of these iPollos is effectively like keeping two 100-watt light bulbs turned on. That's the power it uses.
Really?
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I think I speak for everyone to say we're very aware of like the big mining factories for Bitcoin, the amount of power that's needed to compete with the hash rate and difficulty and everything to have a chance of winning any of those, finding a block and winning those. It's absolutely massive, isn't it? It's just not attainable for most people. Right. But this is a machine that you can literally just plug in your spare room and leave it ticking over. It's just like leaving a couple of light bulbs on.
Yep.
But you might be getting.
And if you're one of us wonderful people that experience winter, it's a nice little space heater, and it's cheaper than running a space heater.
Yeah, I have seen some like really cool things that people are making. They're actually making heaters that are Bitcoin miners. That's
absolutely.
Like going down. I mean, that's so cool. And I've seen that. I'm like, oh my god, I need one of these. It's like a no-brainer, isn't it? Heat your house and potentially get us some mining rewards. Okay. There was one thing that I noticed on your roadmap, and you mentioned getting on Gecko and CMC. Obviously, this is a new chain. It's going to take a little while, isn't it? Or what do you think?
What's that now? I'm sorry.
To get on CoinGecko and CMC, to get your listings over there.
The chain has applied. The chain is actually not live on them yet. However, you can add your wallet into Trust Wallet or MetaMask, or Dive Wallet is out there. Dive Wallet will actually show you your value in your wallet right now. So okay. CoinGecko and CMC, not yet. We'll see. They don't recognize the chain yet. Once they recognize the chain, we can look at getting our token listed with them. In the meantime, we are who we are, and we'll just keep making noise in the world.
Sounds amazing. I'm just looking through some of these questions. We got some really cool questions there tonight, guys. Thank you. Big up to everybody that's got a question in. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to ask them all because there's like 30 odd here. But I'm just going through them, picking some of the ones that I think look interesting. So I think we'll start getting into some of those now. First one. Let me pull it up here. So, would it be possible to feed the AI NFT generator some content of your own and teach it a localized style like Queen's PFP and the whole theme, and the Grey Mermaid. Yeah, is that going to be a thing, or is it going to be just text based?
The plan right now is text based. We will see as we get further into the development, and we have to get the core working first. Then we can have fun with it. We'll look if we can bring images in and build around those images, but not yet. But I'm also not saying that no.
Cool, thank you. Next question. This is a funny one, and I do ask people for funny ones, and it's made me giggle, so I'm going to ask it. If I sell my dad's 1990 Volkswagen, for how long will I have to hold Safumaxx to make gains, both in reflections and percentage increase, so I can get him a 2021 Italian Panda? Silly question.
I'm going to give you a strange answer to that. I'm driving a Volkswagen right now, so I'm kind of privy to that side. So just hold on to the 1990 Volkswagen. There's nothing wrong with them. There's a good year.
No. But wait, he's selling it so he can buy Safumaxx.
Yeah. The amount of power you get off the Safumaxx token depends on your holdings and also volume on the chain. So the more volume, not the chain, but the project, the more volume we have in our project, the more you'll get out of it. And it remains to be seen. Come in if you're ready to go. Yeah, if you're ready to go, jump in. If not, hang around with us and see what's going on.
Good answer. And going back to that, it's risk reward, isn't it? I mean, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody can tell what's going to happen. But going back to the days of Ethereum, if you were one of the people that got into, say, the Ethereum pre-sale and bought Ethereum for $1, just think about where you'd be today. Same with Matic or even BNB or any of the native. I mean, it's a native token, so at the moment it's worth literally a penny. But who knows what it's going to be worth this time next year? And that's the thing. And you're paying out in that token. So I mean, it might not look like very much right now, but if you just hold it. Who knows if this chain takes off the way that we hope that it does? I mean, this could be so valuable. You're giving away literal diamonds. I did notice something that you were thinking about paying out in a stable coin as well, though.
We originally looked at a stable coin, but when MaxxChain first went, they were going to have no stable coin, so we went with the power. Then they're introducing USDT on chain, and we talked about it. And the reality is, it's so much more exciting to have the native coin of the chain at this level than it is a stable coin.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We decided we're going to stick with it, and it's just a better fit. I think it's better for everybody.
I think so too. Great. I like that. Because when I read that bit, I was like, oh, I really like the idea of getting the native of MaxxChain. So, I'm glad you've come to that conclusion as well. That's really, really cool. Okay, so next question. I will ask it. How does Safumaxx's alternating high and low interest stages within the first year differentiate it from other positive rebase projects, and how will it approach? How will this approach enhance the token's long-term sustainability? We've talked to it a little bit, but there you go. That's their question. I think it's a fair one. Do you want to talk to that specifically? So they want to know about how the alternating positive rebase is going to, I mean, what you're thinking with that? Because it is a very interesting concept.
Yeah, what we're thinking with that is nobody ever makes it to the second year because they lose interest before they get there. And that's really when you pay off, because the project and the token turn deflationary. So your price starts coming up, you gain your position at a high, then the price starts coming up, and that's the exciting part of it. But nobody ever makes it there. They just can't hold on that long, and it just becomes overwhelming. So if you want to look at what you're getting into, let's say you spend $100, or not even $100. The price of the token is 40.4 USDT at launch. At the end of 3 months, if it's 0.04 USDT, you're in a profit. And that's just crazy. Now you take it a month later and it's deflationary, so that's going to start raising, only you've got so many more tokens now. That's the idea behind the first year, and we do it twice. And then from there, after the first year, the rebase is still there, it's supporting it, it's slowly trickling down, but we're counting on utility at that point. We're not looking at the rebase anymore. The rebase did its job. It's still generating tokens, so you have something behind it, but our focus at that point is on the utility.
Sounds perfect. Plus, all you have to do is hold it, and you're getting paid out in power. Don't know if I mentioned that, but to me, that's I'm my roots are yield farming. I came into DeFi kind of just after Uniswap, at the beginning of Sushi Swap and the beginning of BSD when that really took off. And that's where I made a lot of money and lost a lot of money in rugs and exploits and scams and all the rest of it. But I love this personally. I love these kind of tokens that I don't have to worry about. I can just hold my bag. I don't have to worry about when I'm going to sell it, when the price gets to a certain point, or when I need to dump it because it's depreciating too much. I know I can just hold it, and all the time I'm getting drip, feeding a passive income, especially when it's in a native token like Power, with the potential that has. So, maybe that's just me, but it's cool. It's really, really cool. Right, next question. Oh, come on, PC. Don't do that to me. So, this is a fair question. How are you dealing with the safe name stereotypes from SafeMoon that attracted many people? Too many scam projects with Safu in the name.
Well, look at the original project, the original Safu, Brian Legend, everybody's hero, right? Who not only rugs your project, but you rug it and you announce you're going to rug it, and everybody worships you for rugging it. We are who we are. We are actually Safu. We are not SafeMoon. We are not Safu, the original. We are not any of these other things. We are who we are, and we own our name, and we do it different. The name is just a name. It's what you do with it that matters, and that's how I feel about it.
Really, really, really cool. I thought I'd found my last question, but I found one that's just caught my eye, and it's just funny, so I'm going to ask it. Looking at your name, have you thought of releasing a new cola, Safumaxx? I would buy it, this person says. Have you thought about releasing a soft drink if you make it big?
Well, maybe we do. There's our year 2 utility. What do you think?
Yes,
that would be cool.
And when you release it, I want to mention from Jesse Degens on there, brought to you by Safumaxx. Brought to you.
We'll put a special Jesse badge on there saying recommended by Jesse's Degens.
Yeah. All right, and one last one.
I'm gonna get off of here, and I'm gonna have a DM from Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, or Pepsi, or maybe both of them. You'll have them fighting. It'll be the drink for DJs. Can you imagine it? Like when we get to prime time, when the real money starts flowing in, and 1.2 trillion market cap looks like a small child's money in their pocket, in their piggy bank, you know, and you're here and you made it big, and you got the drink for all of the people in crypto. It could be amazing. Sorry. Okay, last question. We're going to start wrapping up, and then we'll do the fun part with the giveaway and that. So, do you plan on expanding your marketing in terms of having ambassador programs or crypto influencers to be part of your project? And do you plan establishing a DAO or governance system on your token where members who hold the higher amount of your token get decided on, can make decisions? So talking about two things there. So influencers and ambassadors, are you considering having them or not?
No. Our team does a wonderful job, and we are more organic. I'm not looking for people that are just out there and drawing anybody in. I want friends, friends of friends, friends of friends, distant friends, and that's what we're all about. Yeah, I'd much rather have 10 people that mean something than 10,000 that don't.
Oh, that's so amazing, so refreshing. And on that, you know, we're friends. We've been friends for a little while now, since we got to know each other, and you guys come and bomb the chat, and I woke up and I'm like, what's going on here then? This looks fun. And like, you know, but like I say to all our projects that we have that come in, like, you know where we are, and we know where you are as well, equally. You know, I'm like that. I like to come and say hello and hang out and that kind of stuff. But equally so, remember, you're always welcome over here. Whenever you've got anything, whenever you've got competition, whenever you want fun stuff, or you've reached a new all-time high, or whatever it is, or you've just released your next set of NFTs, or like, come and tell us about it. Feel free to drop your links, you know, because like I get sick of people coming in trying to use our group and our community as a dumping ground for their spammy shills, and they don't care about the community. They just want to dump and run. And you know what I say to them is, hey, look, if you want to shill something to us, you need to be friends with us. You need to talk to us. You need to say hi. But we're already friends. So you're welcome. Send all your stuff over as often as you like. It's all good. We're friends. So on the second part of that, are you considering having a DAO?
We are not at this time. The team is very into this, and we have so many things running in the background that we need the core on top of it. If down the road we want to back off and do our own separate things and walk away, then that would be the way to go. Until then, if the community has a suggestion, wants to do it, we're in voice chat, we're on TG, we're always there. Speak up, we're listening. If it makes sense, we'll do it. If it doesn't make sense, we won't, but you'll be heard.
Amazing. So be part of the community, get involved, participate, share your ideas, and if they're good, they might get done. And if they're not, they won't. And that sounds really, really good to me. Right, okay. Thank you so much. You've been great guest. And bro, thank you for your joke. It did make me, I remember that one.
I hope you enjoyed that one, eh?
I did.
I'm gonna let you use it. I won't charge you for it. No copyrights. I'll let you use it.
Thank you. I might even have a chance of remembering it. Would you call it like a hot?
How can you forget a dirty? You cannot forget a dirty joke. That's always on the top of your mind.
No, I was waiting for something really debased.
I never said how X-rated it's gonna be. I just said a dirty.
That's my mind.
Yeah, well, you know.
Dirty mind, potty mouth. Here's what it is. No filters. Guys, you've been absolutely amazing tonight, and I'm really, really excited for what you're doing here. I've made it no secret. You know, when I call it the way that I see it, and it might be right, it might be wrong. I don't know anything more than any other DJs, that's really. But like, I like what I see going on with the whole MaxxChain thing, and the history, and a little bit of the history. I'm really looking forward to having those guys over tomorrow and and getting into some of that stuff about their roots and everything else. And like with you guys, what you're doing, and just the whole thing, the whole ecosystem. It just feels really, really good. So thank you for coming over tonight.